Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's video. My name is Big Ak or Ahmed, and today we're going to be talking about India. And in India specifically, we're going to be talking about Hindus, and in Hinduism specifically, we are going to be talking about a specific group called the AGHORI people. And I saw clips of this and some of like the things that they do, some of the rituals they do, and I found it fairly interesting, like really far off my... I didn't even think like things like this were like possible. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out. The world is a very interesting place. Different cultures, different religions are very interesting. But
warning:
just take a
the
look.
following content may be shocking for some people. This is Manikandan Baba.
By the way, the channel that we're watching right now is called Dakota of Earth. Assumingly, this man right here, his name is Dakota, and he travels around the world and goes to different countries and shows us different cultures and religions. So,
He is a Hindu ascetic known as AGHORI. The AGHORI are a tantric cult from India that do post-mortem rituals with human bodies. This includes covering themselves in recently cremated human ash, meditating on a corpse, and in some extreme cases, eating the flesh of the dead. The AGHORI are rare to find, but when you do see them, it's typically in the cremation grounds of places like Varanasi, or religious gatherings like Kumbh Mela, or at special temples around India. In the AGHORI philosophy, these practices are done to maintain an awareness of absolute truth. They believe that ideas of good or bad or any judgment at all is inherently of the ego and of the mind, which keeps you anchored to a false illusion. The AGHORI see everything as Shiva, or God. In fact, they invite in the taboo as their main spiritual practice to transcend the natural inclination to be afraid or to be disgusted by things.
okay. I don't even know how to touch on this too much. I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching this and hearing what he's saying kind of don't even know what to say either. My understanding, he's wearing human ash, and like that's what they do is because he's saying like in their life they don't want to feel disgusted by things, so they don't want to feel repulsed by things. They want to feel at ease or at peace in life, so they do these things to kind of condition themselves. Like rubbing dead ash on yourself or off your loved ones and like things like that. Some of the rituals he's doing, he showed that they dress up as Shiva, that blue god, and they kind of do this like taboo like ritual dance type of thing and like honor it. Very interesting.
I've spent a lot of time with the AGHORI. And particularly, I've spent a lot of time with Manikandan Baba. And some of the things I've seen would shake most people to their core. This next clip may be uncomfortable. This is Manikandan Baba meditating on the freshly dead body of his own mother. Meditating on top of dead body.
Listen, guys. Anyone can say anything they want about Christians, about Muslims. What in the world is this stuff, bro? Like, when I'm telling you, dude, when you're worshiping multi-gods and you're doing all this stuff and you're not worshiping one God and you're not following the prophets of God, this is what ends up happening.
Bodies is a common practice within the AGHORI lifestyle. Some people believe that they are extracting the...
Hey, look, I'm super respectful, and like I respect everyone, and I respect everyone's beliefs and their religions. Just because I respect you, as like a human being, and like I don't... It doesn't mean I like this. It doesn't mean that I accept this at all. This is very demonic to me. This is very against what God wants. This is very against my beliefs and my way of life. So am I going to be like respectful in the manner of like, oh, this is really cool. It's interesting to see what they do. No, this is repulsing. This is disgusting. I completely disagree with this, and I think this is horrid. I think these type of actions should never happen. They should never go down. And it makes sense. There's people who believe that my way of living is wrong and I shouldn't do it, and it's so horrible and it's so wrong, but they don't say anything to this guy who sits on his dead mom.
Remaining life force. But Manikandan Baba believes that in this ritual, he is helping his mother move on and reach spiritual liberation. As you could imagine, him...
And again, he believes something different in his head. So he believes he's doing this good thing. He's helping his mother. To me, it looks like he's hurting his mother. To me, it looks like he's disrespecting her. To me, it looks like he's disrespecting God, right? Her soul left her body.
Doing this caused a lot of controversy locally. It even made it on the news. And this isn't the first time he's done this ritual publicly. My time with Manikandam Baba has left me pretty confused. My idea of an Aghori, if it's worth anything, is a holy man. A true yogi that sees beyond the limitations of the mind. But in the downtime, Manikandam Baba just spends his time scrolling on his iPhone, smoking weed, or laying around. But in other times, he is doing these intense rituals, and I feel like there must be something to that. People come from all over to touch his feet and gain blessings or to give him donations. Would someone really do all of this just for attention and money? Meditate on their own mother's corpse? Does he really believe in all this Aghori path fully?
I'm going to tell you guys something about someone who's like a compulsive liar. They believe everything they're lying about. They have to. Like, they know they're lying. Deep down, they know it's BS. But they believe their own lies because if they don't, they can't trick the people around them. So even though instinctively they know it's not real, they know it's not true, they force themselves to believe that lie so that the world around them believes their lie. Or it's just, confidence is everything. If I walk up to you and I say, hey man, I'm 6'1", and I come up to you and I go, hey man, I'm 6'1", the way you say something is either going to show someone that you're assured of it or you don't know. Like, you're unsure of it, correct? So, I don't know, man. It's not like this guy's just thinking, I'm going to do this for money, I'm going to do this for fame, I'm going to do this for power. It was more or less, it was working, so he was like, if it works, and my way of life works that way, and people like it, and whatnot, then I'll become it. Even though I know it may not be the best thing or the right thing, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm gonna make that my reality. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you watch any movie, the villain, they know they're doing bad things. They don't believe they're good guy, but they tell themselves what they're doing is good, what they're doing is right, what they're doing is the just thing to do. They're on the right side of the coin, even though they know they're not. They have to tell themselves that.
He wanted to give me Guru Diksha, which means that he wanted to give me a mantra and initiate me into the path of Aghor as my teacher. I decided against it and that there was something slightly off. However, I appreciated my time with him as I gained a lot of insight into the world of the Aghori, and I gained a lot of life experience that is unfathomable to most people. Interestingly, one time after a large ceremony of animal sacrifice rituals, I met another Aghori sitting silently in the shadows away from the crowd. This is Bhavani Baba. Out of my 6 years traveling India, I've never met a sadhu with such immeasurable radiance. He could speak a little English, and some of the wisdom that he was casually dropping left me speechless.
24 hours, means 24 hours your time. You're doing job, mobile, videos, watching, all time given. I'm telling only 10 minutes. You pray to God. Leaving you all thinking. Only sit God and close your eyes. Only see God. No mantras. You see only God. Close your eyes, but you seeing God. Leave it. Any work, wife, kids, all leave it. Job. Only 10 minutes. Not 1 hour. You do 10 minutes. You realize that what God. God means what miracle. You direct see, I am telling you. Only 10 minutes. But you are thinking only God. Only God you focus. You do only 1 week, I am guaranteed. You see the God.
Reaction. Update your version of WhatsApp to see reaction.
It's real.
देखार पर you आपको देखने के बाद
At one point, I felt as if I had...
So, right there, what he just said was so facts. It's crazy how factual it is, but it's crazy how misconstrued he is. Because I'm not sure what God he's seeing. Because, like, in Hinduism, there could be, like, unlimited amount of gods. I know there's 3, like, of, like, the main deity is the Trinity of Hinduism. But I know that there's workers, like, for the universe to exist, for universe to function, there needs to be so many gods for them to work and do things and maintain things and to come and to give. Like, one god can't give 100 gifts to 100 people at the same time. It's more or less like, you know, they're more like the gods in Hinduism are more, they have jobs. You know, like this god is in charge of nature and this and that, and this god, you know what I mean? This god is in charge of like war and emotion, and it's like that's how gods are in these pagan religions. Is there's multi gods, and all those multi gods, they all do different things. They have different tasks. You do rituals for them. You do things for them. But what this man is saying right here is, if you take 10 days out of your day, right, every day, and you did this for 1 week, you close your eyes and you separated yourself from the world around you. You separate yourself from your computers, your phones, your family, your wife, your kids, your job, your everything. And you close your eyes and you connect to the one who created you. And you do that for 10 minutes a day. And you think 10 minutes, not an hour, not 2 hours, like you scroll on your phone. 10 minutes. Close your eyes and pray. Close your eyes and meditate. Separate yourself from the world. Connect yourself to your spirit and connect your spirit to your creator. He's saying if you do that 10 minutes a day for 1 week, you will 100% see God. And I 100% agree with the statement. I 100% agree with him. If you sit there for 10 minutes a day for 1 week, close your eyes and try to make a connection to God, and within 1 week, you will feel such a strong connection. You will not be able to deny that God exists, and you will not be able to deny that you are some type of spiritual being. Now, is God going to come and present himself to you the way that you want him to? No. He's going to present himself the way he wants to, right? Now, if you have the concept of that was Vishnu that came to you, or that was Shiva that came to you, I'm not sure what God he's talking about, what God he sees, because I know in Hinduism there's multiple gods, so I'm not sure like his point there, but I understand like if you do like the same reason monks and things, they meditate, right? Like, you know, in Buddhism. So that's just how it works, man. When you connect to your spirit, you feel God. You feel that spiritual connection. You feel what you were actually created as a spirit. You connect to that spirit. When you connect to that spirit, you know God's real. You feel God. You connect with God. And that's what he's saying. That's super, super true.
finally met someone who is actually sincere in this path. Ultimately, I find the AGHORI philosophy to be very profound. So many of us preach oneness, but the awakened AGHORI is living it directly.
How if they don't believe in one God? If they teaching oneness but they don't believe in one God, that makes no sense. If they believe in multiple gods, then how do you teach yourself oneness? Because who are you serving? Are you serving Shiva? Are you serving Vishnu? Where are you finding peace is my question. That's where I really get lost. This oneness, that's BS. That's really where I have a problem with Christianity too, where it kind of breaks down to me, is this guy's worshiping Jesus and that guy's worshiping the Father, and then this lady's praying to Mother Mary. So it's like, at what point where is the power coming from? Where's the oneness? How is there 1 in 3? How is there 1 in 10? You know what I'm saying? To be one with something, there has to be one of it. So if you want to be one with God, there has to be one God. There can't be 3, there can't be 4, there can't be 2, there can't be 10, there has to be 1. So I don't understand that concept of oneness. If you're at one with something and you're worshiping multiple things, then you're at one with the devil and the devil alone. If you feel at one with something, there's no way you could worship 3, 4 gods and then feel at one with something, feel connected to one thing.
They say our bodies get recycled, and once this one is gone, we get another. But the Agori body is the last life before breaking the cycle and eternally resting with God. And the Agori path is not always about death and the scary side or the disgust.
Okay, so they believe that like they got it right. Everything that they do is like the righteous way. They come at peace with themselves. They come at peace with the earth. They come at peace with God. And then when they die, that is the final stage. They are going off. They will not be resurrected as a bird, as an ant, as another human, as another body. They will come back, and they'll go back to their Creator. They'll go back to God, and they'll be spiritual beings.
Disgusting side of things. The Agori simply means seeing God. Seeing God in everything and recognizing it in your own self. Power. Spiritual power. This is what Agori really means. But anyways, let me know what you think. Leave a comment. What do you think about the Agori? Are they crazy? Do you see some kind of truth in this path? Am I crazy for seeing some kind of truth in this path? I don't know, but if you're into this video, click subscribe. I've got tons more, and you can see other videos of me with these Agori. It's really interesting. And, you know, while we're living our lives wherever in America, going to work and stuff, these people are doing this somewhere on this planet. And I find that so interesting. Anyways.
All right, amazing video, Dakota of Earth. Thank you for the insight. Thank you for taking us into places that we will never be going in our life and seeing things that I'll probably never see in my life. That was very, very, very interesting. I do know that these are specifically the Agori tribes and people. This is not all of Hinduism, so I'm not going to go ahead and take 1 billion Hindus and go ahead and put this label on them or make this statement of them. But this is what happens when you do worship multiple gods. This is what happens when you have a religion that requires many, many rituals and things of this sort to connect to your Creator, rather than just seeking and meditating to your Creator and asking Him for guidance and following and obeying His commands. These people do rituals and they make offerings to different types of gods, so those gods respond to them in specific types of ways. And that's all paganism. I don't care where you go and what pagan belief system that believes in multi-gods. You offer things to gods, you do rituals for these gods, and then they reward you. And different gods have different abilities and different powers and different uses. So Hinduism as a whole, I completely disagree with. It's paganism. It completely, if you want to be at one with something, if you want to be at peace with something, then it needs to be one Creator. You understand what I'm saying? How do you feel at one with something if it's not with one thing, with one ultimate powerful Creator, right? If this God is weaker than this God, or this God is jealous of this God, then how do you worship either one? Both are weak. They're not all powerful. They can't even control their emotions. They can't control, where did you even come from? How do you exist? What created you? There's so much that goes into this multi-God type of structure that it just doesn't make sense. It's like when you go and ask your dad, hey dad, can I go to Brandon's house? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, no. So then you go ask your mom, and you're like, hey mom, can I go to Brandon's house? And she's like, yeah. And then you go to Brandon's house. And then your mom and dad are now arguing with each other because of what they let you do, right? That's kind of how this pagan system works. That's how the Greek gods work. That's how the Hindu gods work, is there's this jealousy, this fighting, these stories. Like, they built families, and they do all these things. They're like us. And what's crazy is the stories about the Hindu gods, at least the ones that I've seen and I've heard, I don't know a human being on earth that would do anything that these Hindu gods have done. Like chopping each other's heads off, and there's so many crazy things that these gods have committed to and done in their stories. The human being has more of self-control, has more of a logic than their gods. Like, how is that even possible? How are you more logical and smarter and more enlightened than your own god? It doesn't make much sense to me. It doesn't add up. A lot of it is just, I was born into this and I do this and this is what I do for a living. Now, do I deny in any way, shape, or form that no matter what religion that you follow, and no matter if you do rituals or you meditate or you do things to relax your body and to separate yourself from the world. Do you feel spiritual things? Yes. Do you connect with your spirit? Yes. Because there is a spirit inside your body. If you believe in the one God or you believe in the 12 gods, there's a spirit inside your body. And when you feed your spirit spiritual things, when you disconnect from the world and you focus on feeding your spirit, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll like the feeling. You'll be like, wow, I'm deeper than just my body. There's something deeper than that. And then you start searching for it. If that's in Hinduism, if that's in Islam, if that's in whatever the case may be. Excuse me. You're going to go searching for that because you felt that spiritual feeling. You felt that connection, right? And that connection you feel, it might not be with God. That connection you feel, it just might be with your own spirit. It's the first time you sat down for 10 minutes and separated yourself from the world and you felt your spirit for the first time. You're like, whoa, what is that feeling? What is that feeling? I'm deeper than just this body. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then you just latch on to the first thing you see, Hinduism, Buddhism, or Islam or Christianity. When you do something, you need to study, you need to have knowledge, you need to know what you're doing, and you need to make it make sense. This makes zero sense to me. Now, you guys do whatever you want. The ash that they're covered in is their family's dead bodies. So remember, they're killing, after their family dies, they burn their bodies into ashes, they cremate them, and then they rub the ash all over their face. This is the same tribe that also has something called the eternal flame that I also read about. Is they have this flame that has been going for 3,000 years, and there's people who literally just are born and live 80, 90 years of their life to continuously keep this flame on. And the bodies that they do burn and cremate is from this 3,000-year-old flame that they work to keep on and ignited. If this doesn't sound like the biggest demon ritual ever, I don't know what is. Like you have a 3,000-year-old flame that you incinerate billions of human bodies with, and in some type of sacrifice. If that isn't demonic, then I personally don't know what is. I don't like this stuff. It's very demonic to me. They're putting their faith in their self. They're putting their faith in these other multi-gods, and they're not putting their faith in an all-powerful, almighty creator. Someone who is above and zoned above everything. And that's where my problem comes with Hinduism in general. And when it comes to this AGHORI tribe, this is crazy. This is like Satan type stuff. Like, in my opinion, not even my opinion, this is straight up Satanism. This is straight up like burn bodies, rub myself with ash, feel spiritual. You can feel spiritual with demons, by the way. Just letting you know. They make you feel spiritual too, because demons are spirits and they don't have bodies. You're the one with the body. So when you feel that spiritual connection, if that's with God or that's with the devil, you feel that spiritual connection and you're going to seek it. These guys, I do not think are getting their connection from the right source. I think they're getting it from a different source. That is my view. That is my opinion. And that is my fact when it comes from my side of the world. Anyone with my belief system would literally say this is satanic. Thank you guys for coming in today. Thank you guys for showing up. I know that this video will probably bring in a lot of Indian people, Hindu people. Thank you guys for coming in. I do have a lot of Hindu followers, Indian followers, Muslim Indian followers, Christian Indian followers. I do appreciate every single one of you from coming in. There's a lot of culture. There's a lot of things going on in India, especially with Hinduism being as old as it is. There are very, very, very many different traditions, very many different rituals in different areas within India. And a lot of you separate yourself from these people and separate yourself from these people. And it's really, really hard to figure out, like, what is Hinduism? What is the basic fundamentals of Hinduism? And I don't think anyone will ever really know. It's more or less like, I'm going to decide to do this, I'm going to decide to do this, I'm going to decide to do this based off of the stories and fundamentals and rulings. But Hinduism is more or less like a way of life, and then people decide what rituals they want to do to improve that way of life. These people do some really crazy rituals. In my opinion, it's way too much. It's way too much going on here. And I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere in life without submitting themselves to God and God alone. So that's going to be that. And that's going to be the video for today. Thank you guys for coming in. God bless you all. And until the next time, peace, love, blessings, and free Palestine.